well. All right, everybody. Woo! It's Friday, Minnie?
Yes.
Big D, what time is it?
Noon.
12 noon, so that means it's Festool Friday, and it's time for Festool Live, baby. We got a heck of an episode. Hey, wait a minute. I say that every time, don't I? Okay, let's call out the room. Over here, we have Mr. I know how to sing, Big D.
That's me.
Big D! All right. Behind the camera, we have Chris, the unit Cybert.
He can really sing.
He can sing. He should sing in a different key, like Key West or Key Largo. Ba-dum bum, ba-dum bum. Hey, somebody told me the other day I should sing solo. Yeah. Solo, we can't hear you. Okay. Hey, also on the board, once again, tell us where you're from. We have Minnie Glam. Okay. Hey, you're watching us on YouTube. You're probably watching us on Facebook. But you know what? You should also subscribe to IG at Festool_USA, correct? Did I get that?
I like it.
You like that, Minnie? Okay. Big announcement. Wow, we had great sign-ups over the course of the last day. It was yesterday we started My Festool. We're running a really cool KSC tester program. Does anybody know what a KSC is? It's the new cordless Capex. And you can get all the details at festoolusa.com and festoolcanada.com. I can't do it all the justice, but I think we're picking 16 testers. It also comes with the stand, and it's awesome. Okay, now the other thing I want to call out, and this was my reminder, is right here in the United States. Next Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday, is July 4th, and it's our Independence Day. And this is going to be our weekend here of July 4th. So everybody out there from the States, make sure you play it safe with the fireworks. Eat a lot, barbecue a lot. But man, it's our Independence Day, July 4th. I cannot believe it's here all right. Happy birthday, America. How that's... Hey. What did I say about singing? Okay? Come on. Oh, my goodness gracious. I was told to... Hey, Minnie, I got to say that. I'm going to call you out, Minnie.
Okay.
I started singing Surfing Bird in the lobby today, and nobody, Minnie had never heard bird. Bird is the word. Surfing Bird, baby. Rick started singing it. Matt is going to kill me, our IT guy, because he can't get it out of his head. I love that song. Okay. I think I got everything covered. Yes, Chris? Chris is nodding, everybody.
You did.
Okay, good. Chris, get out of my way. I got to, okay. This is episode 141. And as I go back, I've shown a lot of these tips, but this is top system tips number 2, okay? You guys really liked top system tips number 1. So going forward, this is gonna be like Lost in the Catalog. Every once in a while, I'm gonna do top system tips and more Lost in the Catalogs. Lost in the Catalog, everybody, if you don't know, that's Minnie's favorite episodes. Okay. So I'm gonna start right here with the MFT3. And on episode, and I couldn't believe this today, Chris got it right. Do you know how long ago that was? Episode number 5. Holy macanoli. That was right in like the first 5. Hey, Mo! I'm good with math like that, right? Okay, so we went through the setup of the MFT, and I set this up, and I'm going to go over something else later in this episode, but I said, what would be another great tip? Here's one that I learned from somebody my first year here at Festool, and I have taught this going forward. I think I showed it in episode number 5, but I want to show it again because it just makes so much sense. Okay, so once you set up your MFT with your brackets here, okay, you have one here, okay, just always remember there's a knob right here. See it right here? Make sure that that's tightened up against the stops, and there's one over here, and it's tightened up, but there's a third knob that you want to make sure, it's right here. Chris, get over here so you can see it.
Here.
Right here. Oh, I forgot, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay, and on the line today, that's the old guy's way of saying it. On the line today, we have Garrett Sato, and he's answering all your questions. Minnie, thank you so much. I never want to forget Garrett. He's the best of the best. Okay, good. So there's that third knob right there. Now, before you go into squaring anything, and that's what I want to show you today, a really cool tip on that, you want to make sure that those 3 knobs are tight. Because you could go through all of this, and if you raise the height or move this a little bit, it won't ever be square. It'll only be square once. We want it to be square every time you take it on and off the MFT3 table and set up all the hardware. Okay, so you got to get yourself a good square. Now, aluminum extrusion is always parallel. Okay, it comes out of the extruder parallel like this, comes out of the extruder parallel like this. Okay, we're going to be putting a board under here to route. Okay, but you want to make sure that I'm routing at 90 degrees or I'm cross-cutting at 90 degrees. So what you have to do is look right in here, and I like to get a square like this, and I like one with a tall leg, and look, it's way out of square. You can see it. Okay, let's get the repeatable stop. See it right there? Okay, see in here? Okay, good. So what you want to do is you want to loosen this, and it's a 5mm hexes. You see them right here? And you see how that cursor's at 0? Now, the other thing, you want to make sure that this is spring-loaded. It's sitting at the bottom of that detent right there. And I'm going to loosen this here like this. Okay, hopefully Garrett's paying attention to this because I just showed him this yesterday. He's going to kill me after this, okay? And look at all the play you have in here. Look, that's still in 0. But here's where I want to take it a step more. And I saw somebody, his name was Les, in 2007. I saw him doing this, and I was blown away because he told me, he goes, listen, my eyes aren't what they used to be, and I can't tell sometimes if that's perfectly square because of the lighting or whatever. So he did this. He took some Post-it notes. Okay, you don't have to get fancy. A couple pieces of paper like this. You see how it's tight there and tight there? That may be out just a little bit, and you may not see it. It would be loose like that. See that? So you want to make sure it's square. I hold that tongue of my square up against there. I bring it in like this. That's tight and that's tight. So what I do next is I bring and I tighten this rail clamp or fence clamp down, and I still verify like this. And then I align my cursor, and I take my 5mm hex like this, okay, and tighten it. Okay, and then I tighten this knob, and I know every time I pull this on and off and set it up against the stops, it's going to be perfect. Now, I want to give you another tip, okay? When you put in your Post-it notes in there, don't put them don't put them sticky side down. Okay, never mind, okay? But there is how you square it. Now, the reason I'm showing you is that you may think, oh, this is really simple. But every time I have seen a situation with an MFT3, whether I'm listening on the phone or whether I was in somebody's shop, one of these 3 knobs was not tight. So I could go through any kind of squaring process out there. If those aren't tight, there's going to be movement, and it'll only be square once. I really like this tip because you don't have to go get any fancy feeler gauges. Everybody's got Post-it notes. And that was always an aha moment in training classes. That's how I picked these top system tips. What really jazzed the heck out of people when they came in? In other words, what was their frustrations with things? So hopefully that eliminated some frustration. And that's tip number 1. Okay. Hello, number 2. I got it, number 2. Don't drop your wrench. Okay, number 2, let's keep it easy. Let's move right over here. The question always came across when we were talking about dust extractors is, of course, you gotta empty the bag or replace the bag. It fills and fills and fills until it turns into a brick. You take the blast gate and you throw it away. We showed that in one of the episodes. But the other thing is, how often should I clean my filter? Well, since early days, we've come out with a cleaning system. But it's not the end-all be-all. You still have to periodically take it to clean it out. So that's going to be the tip. But what I want to go over here is with the CTC. I'm always forgetting the C in there. The CTC MIDI. This is the new cordless MIDI. I'm just going to turn it on here. Okay, I have it hooked up to Bluetooth. It comes Bluetooth enabled. Okay. I'm going to turn it on. And I want you to pay attention here because this has a manual cleaning system. Okay. So I'm going to turn it on like this. Okay, so look, put it in manual. I just use the Bluetooth. Number 2, Chris, come over here. Make sure it's at high rate, okay? So say it was right here at lower suction. I want to make sure it's not, okay? This sounds funny, but see where it says, the second thing you do is look. You block the hose, okay? And the third is you hit it like this, and you'll hear it. 1, 2, 3. And what that does is that opens up the gate up top, okay, where the air is creating a vacuum below. And there's a little thing that pulls up that you're manually hitting like this. And what that does is lets the high pressure air pop against the filter into the containment area. So that is what auto clean is, but it's a manual auto clean. Where on the CT36AC, there's an electromagnet that we cycle electronically and it opens up. And that has the CT48AC is the same thing. It's totally automated. Okay, now with this one, you still periodically have to take this out and clean it. Okay, because that air is popping on this and it's going down in the containment area. But I have seen so many people do this, and I used to do this with all my dust extractors and shop vacs. I take them outside after a while, they're all caked, and I take my air compressor hose and I blow the heck out of these things. I didn't realize back then I was popping holes into the filter element. The best way to clean a filter is just to take it and tap it out. I take it outside and tap it out just to get the fine particulate out there. These do last a long time with proper care, okay? But don't try to blow air through it because you're blowing holes through the filter element. And a telltale sign, I always see it, is air is coming out and it has dust or particulate in it. That gets it down to 0.3 micron. That's a HEPA filter. 1 micron is wood smoke. So this really cleans the filter. The filter really cleans the air. Now, the bag that's inside is a 5 micron filter. So we really capture the dust with the Festool CT system. Whew. Tip number 2. Tip number 3, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna go grab a board real quick that I put away right before we started. Hello, can you guys still hear me? Okay, I'll be right out. You know, sometimes when I'm setting up, I go, oh, I don't need that, and I really needed it. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm going to set this up, okay? One of the things that I've learned over the years teaching woodworking techniques is, and especially with routers, it's the most versatile tool in the shop, but it can be a little daunting. It's also the messiest, all right? But people are, sometimes I answered a question somewhere and it was like, hey, I gave a tip on router somewhere, I think it was on Festool Sedge, and somebody messaged me and said, hey, thanks, I'm still a little weary of routers. I'm new to woodworking. There's a lot of things that go into that, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a 1400 and I wanna keep this as easy as possible. I'm gonna set it up on the rail. I showed you that in another video. I'm just gonna take it like this. Whoopsie, I'm gonna set it up. I can't, when I show how a Festool router works on the rail, and I think I did this in Top System Tips 2 or 1. No, 1. This is 2. There's always an aha moment, like, oh, I didn't know that the Festool routers work on the rail. I always would say, why'd you buy the router? Because that's why you buy the Festool router. Dust extraction, and it works on the rail. So I'm just doing a basic setup here. I'm not getting fancy. You can go to the 1400 setup, and I think I did it in Router 101 episode. There's several times I show this. I can't show it enough. I just love doing it. But one of the things that my mentor showed me early on was when you set up a router and setting depth, people complicate everything. You don't need to complicate everything. Look, I'm going to take the router, and there's a really good video. Greg Polini does a really good video on this as well, setting depths on routers. See how I set it, and see that bit? It's level to this piece of plywood. Okay, now if I took this and if I bring it in here, I'm going to do this so you guys can see it. I'm going to set it at the bottom turret. I'm going to release this lever right here. See how it goes down there? Now if I press it down like this, okay, because it's ball, there's a ball catch under there, okay? I always want to press it down. Oh, here's what I'm going to tell you. If I release this now, okay? And I go like this, guess what I'm gonna do? When I'm routing, I'm just gonna barely what? Scratch the top of it. I need to go further in depth. I wanna go 5 millimeter. So I'm gonna take it like this, I'm gonna start over, and we call this zeroing out the router for depth, okay? See how that is there? And I'm gonna show you, see this little line here? If I need to micro adjust, which I'm not going to today, okay, but look, see how I have it there? Okay, see how that's at 0? It's zeroed out here on the board. Okay, and this is zeroed out down here. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna go 5 millimeters of depth. Or, let's say a 1/4 inch. I'm going to take this top scale and push it down. I'm still at 0. See where that's reading 0? I could do this, look. I can bring it up a 1/4 inch. Okay, you see where it's reading 1/4 inch right there? Chris, you got that? That's if you read the scale. What I see so many people doing is this. They move this up. There's still, if we look down here, there's still no space between there. Okay, to me, that's the hard way of setting it up. My eyes are going these days. I don't need no scales. I need a gauge block. So that's why I always recommend buying a full set of dominoes, because you get a full set of gauge blocks at any one time. Hey, Mo, I need to go down 5 millimeters. Look. I'm going to get something called a gauge block. I'm actually using a domino. It's super accurate. I lock it in. Now when I go, I'm going 5 millimeters in depth. That's as simple as it gets. Also, we have it over here, Chris. It's the exact same thing on the 1010, and it's the exact same thing on the 2200. I just like setting it up on the 1400. That is... Setting up depth using gauge blocks is the easiest way, and it's so easy to do. It's just, sometimes it's too obvious, you know? People get confused with scales and everything. Now we have another router here, and I want to show you this one. I don't know if I've ever done this tip. This is the MFK 700. It's a fixed base router to adjust the height, okay? Here, you loosen this knob and you loosen this knob. Okay, and here is, and there's no slop in this, no play. So every time I dial it in, it's going. Each one of these bumps is 1/10 of a millimeter. I'm not going to read the scales. What I'm going to do is I want to go down 9 millimeters. I'm creating a groove for a cabinet back. A lot of people will use imperial. They'll say 3/8 because 3/8 is half of what? Okay, so there you go. 3/4. Okay, 9 millimeter is what? Half of 18. So if I take a 5 and a 4 millimeter domino, and I just use CA glue to put this together, and I create another one on top, from here to here is 9 millimeters. So I take this like this. Hopefully we're getting this, Chris. Okay, and I take this knob, that's going up, but if I go like this, see how this is sitting flat on my base? And I just dial it in, and as I dial it in, there's my what? My 9 millimeters of depth. So you see how that fell right in place? And now I know I'm gonna go exactly 9 millimeters. That's another easy way of using a gauge block to set depth on a router. Wow, I think I've just covered 10 episodes of Festool Live over the last 3 years. Good? So that is number 3, correct? Number 4 is right over here. I can't do a top system tip without talking about the domino. Ha-ha, and here is the key of what I just said. The domino. This is the domino joiner. Okay, this is the actual domino, and I've talked about them before. This is kind of cool. Right here, as if I take a pencil and I go like this will actually tell me what size it is. This is a 10 by 100. This is also, if I go like this, and it also has the best power tool company on the planet, right there on that size, it says Festool. Okay, all joking aside, also in there, okay, you have this herringbone design, and when I put glue on here, that's a well. So when I put glue on here for glue up and I push it in there, it wicks to the adjacent surface. Okay, right here is if I put too much glue in the mortise, these are hydraulic grooves, or they create hydraulic wells. So if I push it in, you'll see it all the time. If I put too much glue, it pushes out of the mortise. Okay? And I also want you to notice this. It's always pronounced on the edge or the side, it's a little rib. Here and here. Now, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Because I would always hear this in the early years. The domino is too precise. My dominoes are too tight in the mortise. And I would go, oh my goodness, I would kill for that. Growing up and hand cutting. I got to be careful because it's like, I tell everybody, this is probably the most precise handheld woodworking machine you've ever used. What I want to do is I want to break this apart. I did this morning, okay? And I want to talk about this. When I do a wider miter, I remember what I've taught you. Always I use the flap from the long point, and I always do that one tight, and then I do this one loose. And hopefully this explains it today, okay? I have side to side and top to bottom here. I have perfect precision on here. And these can sometimes be tough putting in and out. But I wanted to explain it on this one. See how this is a wider miter? That helps me in alignment when I'm putting these two together. Okay, I want a little wiggle room, but here is where I always talk about glue line. It's right here. There is 0.0 movement up and down. Okay, I use the center setting to create the lateral tolerance here, but I never lose long grain to long grain adhesion. That is so important in woodworking. Okay, I want the lateral tolerance here for assembly. Now someone will say, my goodness, I have a tough time. Well, I'm dry fitting my dominoes and I'm having a tough time taking them out. So we used to see this, and this one, always make sure, because this one's really tight here, I can barely take it out. Always use a pair of Festool pliers for this. Okay, and always have that, and pull it out. Okay, I'm gonna leave that set right there. Okay, so we have the two mortises here, right? Okay, if I put this in, it is tight, and I have a tough time taking it out. What I suggest, and I used to see this all the time, people would take, kick, save it, a butte. They would take sandpaper and they would, what? They would rub, watch, I'll show you. They would rub this face like this and this face like this and say, hey, this is my dry fit set. And then they would put it in the mortise, and guess what they've lost? They've lost this, they've lost glue line. It's no longer a true woodworking joint. So what I've learned over the years, and I do it a couple different ways. I will take my sanding block, and you remember that rib I showed you earlier? Okay, I'll go like this. Okay, and I'll knock that rib off just like that. Or what I do is I always carry a block plane with me, and I'll go like this just to knock that rib off. It's really pronounced on this. You can actually, and you can see the shavings coming off. Okay, I don't go nuts with it, but I just check it out, and you know what? There's the perfect dry fit domino. And guess what? It's a dry fit, but what else it is? It's my glue up domino too. I don't waste dominoes, and I have where's that dry fit set? It's always right there. You have a piece of sandpaper, you have a block plane, always right where you need it, right? So that is what, by the way, that's a huge epiphanal moment when people would come in for trainings, and I would show them that, because they go, yeah, I guess I was losing glue line by going like this on a piece of sandpaper. You don't want that. You want perfect long grain to long grain adhesion. That is why, look at that. Man, I always get excited when I put this together because it always comes in just dead on. It's nice. So there you go. And now I have a locked joint because this one is tight, and I can use right angle clamps with that. It's absolutely perfect. Whew. Man, I thought this was gonna be a 10-minute, it kind of lasted, didn't it? Because you know what? There were some other tips I threw in there as well. Okay, how's everybody doing? Good? Minnie, can I ask you, did you learn something?
I did.
You did?
I did.
How to clean a filter?
Yes, actually.
Okay, good.
The domino is, like the most precise tool, but I've met the engineer. I'm not surprised.
That's right, it's Vetus. All right.
Correct.
So, boy, I want to call somebody out, and Minnie put it up here. Yesterday, I had the privilege, one of our sales managers in California got a Festool fan, or more so, a Festool live fan, and I was mentioning to the crew here earlier, his name is Sam. I FaceTimed him. in California. I think it was in St. Louis Obispo. It was Sam from California. He had driven 4 hours to be there at the demo day that they had at the store. And Sam, I want to thank you for being a super fan. It was nice meeting you, FaceTime. Yes, we'll try to get out to California next year sometime. Woo, we got a heck of a year planned for the second half. By the way, today's the end of the second quarter. Woo! All right. Hey, everybody. I want to call everybody out because this Festool Live is because of everybody on these boards and who watches all weekend long and continues to watch Festool Live. We have Joe from Waseca, Illinois. We have Chris from Malta. Christopher, how are you? Been there forever. We have Anthony from Staten Island. We have Andrew from Enfield, Connecticut. Doug, you're always there from Zionsville. Minnie loves this. It's Bib Binkerton from Cumbria, I'm messing it up, Cumbria, England. We have Milo from Serbia, Belgrade. Milo, how are you? Rick from sunny Blackpool, UK, you're always there. Petri from Jolarvi, Finland. Did you see how I added that accent in there, Petri? Not bad, man. Mac from the Netherlands. Michael from Edmonton, Alberta. You're always there with us. Jason and Yana, thank you for being with us all the time from Granite Falls, Washington. We have Darren from County Carey Island. Hey, Darren, I think that's the kingdom over there, isn't it? All right, we have Hartanam. Oh, my God. No, it's hard to name. Hard to name. Jay from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm thinking I'm going Hartanami. Okay. Hey, Hartanami, how are you? From Atlanta, Georgia. We have Alonzo from Mississauga, Ontario. Bermuda. Steve from Bermuda. We have Bermuda Steve. We have Jerry G from Sugar Grove, Illinois. How you doing, Jerry? We have Tom and Kelly, always with us from Eatonton, Georgia. We have Mark from Anaheim, California. Dan from Whiteston, New York. Nate from the Woodcraft in Washington, D.C. area. We have Dana from Yolcott, Washington. Oh, he had a successful surgery. Like to hear that, Dana. We have Andy from Mississauga, Ontario. We have Joe, our buddy Joe from Akron, Ohio. Soren from Denmark, or is it Soren, Denmark? Soren from Denmark. We have Norman. How are you, Norman? From Los Angeles. Norm. Carrie from Dallas, Texas. Willie the Spactrician. I know you're from Virginia. Joey from Texas. Leo from Holland. Monty from Canton, Connecticut. Jason from Fenton, Michigan. Mr. Jeff Covey. How are you, Jeff? We have Julian from Lausanne, Switzerland. Sandy from Point Republic, Maryland. Steve. North Alabama. I was like, is that a new country, Alabama? Alabama. We have Gail from Eden, New York. We have CRYS, the Joiner's Joint in, wow, many, Roshalanchergog. Harshal Anagrog. Oh my God, I can't even. How are you, CRYS? Oh, is that Quiz? Is it Quiz? That's weird. You pronounce that, Minnie.
Quiz looks good to me.
Quiz, the Joiner's Joint in Rawl Anner Churgog. Krugog. Man, oh my God, Minnie, this is unbelievable. Hey, and you know what's unbelievable about these boards today? We have a ton of people. How many people were watching Peak so far?
200.
That's incredible because this is the long weekend. Okay, we have Frank from Downers Grove, Illinois. Matt from Tinley Park, Illinois. Jeff from Clarksburg, Maryland. Double M from Huntington Beach, California. Dan Kingman from Arizona. How you doing, Dan? We have Matt from Newark, Ohio. Gary from Beers with the Boys. Apo from Aka, Finland. We have Michael from Park Ridge, Illinois. Hawaii, Mike. We have Blake Weber from Novato, California. We have Giev from Shaker Heights, Ohio. B. Double Dizzle from Northwest Arkansas. Oh, no, Arkansas. We have Rob from South Denver. B. Double Dizzle. I love it. I'll say that 100 times. Rob from South Devon, England. Ant, how are you, Ant? You're from Fontana, California. Here he is. It's him. It's Dirk from Dayton. We have Dave and Gwen from West Virginia. How you guys doing? We have the Warp Woodsman. How you guys doing? From Portland, Oregon. We have Brandon from Olathe, Kansas. Is that right? Olathe, Kansas. We have Daniel from Baratwil, Switzerland. Oliver, I met you out there from Southern California. Warren from Caldwell, Idaho. We have Brad from LaGrange. We have Will Van Dyke from the Netherlands. Paul from Reading, Berkshire, UK. Mike from Ramsden, Iowa. Rodrigo from Cali, Colombia. Wow, Cali, Colombia, South America. Woo, this is a good one. Ooh, this is a good name. Picarriomon from Moreland, Mexico. Minnie, am I hacking that one up? Picarriomon. Got it. Vundalva, oh my goodness, Minnie, you're writing stuff that I can't pronounce. Vundavali from the Colony in Texas. Brian from Pumpaville, Australia. Brian from Long Beach, California. Patrick from Cape Town, South Africa. Man, we have a lot of people from South Africa. Mike from Perth, Australia. You guys are staying up wicked late. Mike from Merced, California. Dick from Katy, Texas. Kenneth from Oak Park, Illinois. Ruben from Centurion, South Africa. More. We have Stefan from Augsburg, Germany. How cool is this? We have Steve from Nashville. Is that Tennessee? Do you think it's Tennessee or Nashville, Indiana?
I'm thinking it's Tennessee because he drove up here last weekend to see the building.
Hi, Steve from Nashville. How the heck are you? We have Jerry from Vail, Arizona. Peter from Melbourne, Australia. Wow, we got a lot of Australian folks. David from Israel. We have Dave and Kim from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. We have Johnny from Hoffman Estates, Illinois. We have Rob. That's Rob from Cinnaminson, but now he's putting other places up there that he can't pronounce. We have Barnegat Light, New Jersey. Yes. I think I got it.
Good job.
Barnegat. I hope I got it right, Rob. We have Dale from Swatter Lincoat, England. We have Vince from Madison, Mississippi. We have Warren from Batavia, Ohio. Brian from Central Ohio. We have Derek from Lebanon. This is so cool. We have Chris from Whitestown. Is that you?
It is.
It is. Chris is from Whitestown, Indiana. We have Min from that's you, Minnie.
Yes.
We have Garrett from my desk. You guys are starting to mess with me. Yes. We have Wooter from South Africa. Mehul from India. Thank you for reaching out to me. You are awesome, yo. We have Dale from Hillsdale, Michigan. Happy Canada Day tomorrow. Is Canada Day tomorrow?
Yes.
Wow, is that cool. Rick from Tallahassee, Florida. Bella from Vista, Arkansas. Peter from Powhatan, Virginia. Powhatan. Yep, I'll get it one of these days. We have Aquineba. Aquineb. Is that a B?
That's an O.
Oh, Aquino from London. Johnny O from Atco, New Jersey. We have Oliver from the French Alps. We have Bob from Salt Lake City. We have Steve from Montana. Juhan from Tallinn. Hey, is that a new country? Tallinn. Okay, Peter from South Africa. Man, this is the most people from South Africa. Mykola from Kyiv, Ukraine. Stay safe. Philip from Columbia, Missouri. Fifi from Slovenia. Well, hello, Fifi. We have Robin from La Mirada, California. Happy birthday, Robin. Tomorrow from La Mirada, California. So there you go. Everybody enjoy the long weekend. Some of us are working Monday. Not so bad. Tuesday's July 4th. Everybody have a safe holiday weekend. A lot of you folks are probably up to camp already. That's how we say it up in Maine, up to camp. UPTA, up to. I'm driving up to camp. So there you go. Everybody have a great weekend. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. I always say that because we mean it. We love you. Thanks for giving us a great hour or 45 minutes every single Friday at noon. We'll see you live next week. I have I've already set it up for next week. You are gonna get blown away what I got prepared for next Friday. Hey everybody, safe and happy weekend. We'll see you next Friday, 12 noon, right here on Festool Live. I believe this is a wrap.